My name is Tycho and this is my YouTube channel about Amsterdam. In the past I've made a dozen of cycle videos, which I edited on music with speed ramps and jump cuts. But today I want to try something else. Last week I posted my monthly cycle video, and I will use this footage, but instead of all the fancy editing, I will narrate what we're cycling past. This bridge right here is the Dommers Bridge, which you might recognize from the top 10 bridges, which lies in one of my favorite neighborhoods of the city, the Jordaan. Before the big pandemic which is going on right now, I made a walking route with some tourists through this neighborhood, which you might want to check out. Here on the left you see the famous storage houses, with their nice, I don't know what the name is called, to close the windows, the shutters, the wooden shutters. This route was filmed on January the 13th, and as you can see, it was a lovely day. The sun was shining, well, it's almost shining, it was gonna shine later this afternoon. And, well, I was still wearing gloves. But at the end of this ride I was pretty hot. From the cycling, of course. It's a real exercise. Yeah, some people are moving, using the truck. We're now at the Gentleman's Kennel. I'm still gonna make a video about this kennel when the trees are blooming again. This is the second main kennel of Amsterdam. There are 4 main kennels: the Single, the Gentleman's Kennel, the Emperor's Kennel, and Prince Kennel. Not in the right order, probably, but the Gentleman's Kennel is the second kennel in the ring of Amsterdam. I did make a video about the first one. DHL, also here in the Netherlands. I filmed this video with a GoPro Hero 5 Session placed on a chest mount. So I'm wearing this, it's like a backpack but then reversed, and the GoPro is, yeah, on my chest. It's one of the older GoPros, so there's no stabilization in the shots, but it also gives it a bit more speedy vibe if it's not stabilized. And I did make a few videos with the DJI Osmo Pocket 1, which got recommended to me by, well, or I asked him, Ambient Walking, this guy right here. The Torensluisbrug, another bridge from the top 10 bridges. Yeah, this bridge is the widest still in the original state bridge of Amsterdam. And in the summer there are some terraces, some cafes. So it's full of chairs and people sitting over there. Right now I decide to go to the left. I thought this would be fun, you know, this street. Crossing the Spuis Street. Yeah, because it's like a in-between streets between the kennels. Over there in the back, that's the New Church, which is standing next to Dam Square's Palace of Amsterdam. It's also on the edge of the palace, the New Church. And even though it's called New Church, it's hundreds of years old. But there's also an old church, even older church than the New Church, and they're both pretty old. Yeah, you hear that sound? That's for blind people. I guess that's in more countries around the world. So they hear, you know, if they should walk or if they can walk or not. So this is the Nieuwezijds Voorburg wall, which is right behind Dam Square. On the right, above Albert Heijn, I think, there's a hotel with a swimming pool on top. On Instagram you see lots of photos of Insta-famous people making pictures of themselves in that swimming pool with the palace in the background. I once did a Japanese course, and here on the left, I think it's a renovation, is the building for a couple of years. So you see between the cars, yeah, very smooth. That's the great thing about being on the bike, you know. You can just go anywhere in between. And this I forgot because I anticipated to go, you know, straight ahead, but the road goes to the right, so I had to go back again, which was not planned. Well, none of this was planned, but yeah, don't mind my bike. As you hear, it's pretty old. You know, this is, you know, well, that's not a reason why I added on the music, but you never heard this, or maybe you did a little bit. Oh yeah, in the edit, this is the part where I started to speed up the shots. So yeah, I love those speed up shots. Usually 300% of the speed, so that's 3 times as fast. So yeah, as a cycler, it's not a big problem to cycle against the traffic, you know, like I'm doing right now. I mean, you won't get fined for it, I guess, but it can be annoying, because if there are cyclers and a car coming the opposite direction, it's a really tight spot. So we're at the Singel again, with, I forgot the name of this church, but it was also in the Singel video. The Singel is one of the oldest canals of Amsterdam from 1428, if I remember well. This is nice with the tram. Yeah, I made a video about the Singel, which took it took so much time to make. It was a massive video for me. I mean, I live in Amsterdam all my life, but so I had to look up a lot of stuff and, you know, also figure out, like, I don't want to make the video too boring, but still want to give some useful information. This is a lovely shot. Look at this. The flower market on the right, Mint Square at the end. And the blue sky, of course. I color graded it, but still, you know, it was already a bit blue because I just made it pop a little bit more. Rock-in. There's still water. The water continues and then it hits Dam Square. And between Dam Square and Central Station they closed up that canal hundreds of years ago. Not recently, but they still left the water there in the Rock-in, which is nice. Which is the name of the street, by the way, Rock-in. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do on the left. Maybe some new building. This is me correcting my face mask, probably. What's the name of this bridge? The Aluminium Bridge. Yeah. Also another top 10 bridges. So I made this top 10 and now it seems like I'm cycling past all them, but they're all just in the center except for one. Two. Except for two, they're all in the center. I mean, I could have done this one as well, but personally, after debating with myself, I decided to go for the other one. Now we're gonna end up at Waterloo Square, or at least cycle past it, which is one of the... No, it is the oldest flea market of the country and maybe even of Europe. But there's gonna be a renovation. I mean, the renovation has started. It's gonna take 2 years, so they moved to another spot, the market people, for 2 years, and I think they were gonna make some underground cycle area to place your bicycles. And I read this morning that they're gonna start to make an underground cycle basement underneath the water behind Central Station. So that's new. And it's gonna take 2 years again. If we would go to the right, then we would end up at Rembrandt Square. Over there, all the way in the end, on the right side, you'll see the Skinny Bridge right now. But I'm going to the left. Yeah, while making my metal music video, there was a dead dove or dead pigeon lying in the water on the left, I remember. Sad, sad, sad. That's the way it goes in life sometimes. I mean, maybe a boat hit him, or a cat attacked him and dropped him in the water, or, you know, it could be loads of things. Maybe he was just old. And then at some time, of course, some people have to get him out of the water, clean. I think there are some companies or who are cleaning the water, the canals of Amsterdam regularly. So this is kind of Amsterdam East. I think we arrived in the East, yeah. Actually some time ago already. With on the left, I think this is one of the facilities of the zoo. And if it's not, then at least we're fairly close to the zoo, the Amsterdam Royal Zoo, Artis Royal Zoo. I hardly filmed in the East yet, actually. I should film more in the east of Amsterdam. The Routerstraat, or Router Street. Router was the last name of someone. I forgot who. I mean, this is just me narrating on the spot, so I could go on Wikipedia right now, but let's just leave it. You know, maybe one day I'll make a walking route here, and you know, that's the time for me to explain names of streets and stuff. One of the universities of Amsterdam, right here on the left, by the way. UvA, UvA, University van Amsterdam. And Van is from, yeah, look at that kid. He, at that moment I felt like he was a bit maybe scared, like, oh shit, there's a speedy cycler coming, and it looked like he almost fell, but maybe he did also almost. And I think I heard him shout something. Maybe it was just my imagination. Let it take you there, and just flow with the magic, baby. I can see it there in your eyes. Here, I let this man walk by. Just manners, you know. I mean, if people are walking on the zebra path, they have the right to go first. This is the Sarfati Street, which also lies next to goes past the Sarfati Park, where the Love Bridge is. But I want to say that this is a 30-kilometer street. Here on the floor they made some prints, which I don't see, but somewhere in the beginning and maybe later. which says cars are just visiting. So it's a cycle street, and the cyclists are allowed to go in the whole width of the street, and the cars, you know, should ride in a normal 30 km per hour speed. Anyways, let's continue, because I just keep on rambling. So yeah, this is my headset. I was listening to, I forgot what. I have this little playlist. So yeah, cut that out in the original video, cycling to Amsterdam, January. Why did I decide to go to this street? Well, it's also part of Amsterdam. It's not the part you usually see, I guess. Yeah, the traffic light, it's blinking, but that's just for the video. The frame rates of the camera, the frames of the light. Because in real life it looks seamless for your eyes. And my eyes. So normally, if there's no corona, there would be a lot of students walking here because of the, well, quote-unquote universities in this area. Oh, a lot of wind. Look at this basketball field. Nice. And right now I decide to go to the right. Back to the civilization again. I forgot the name of the street. Let's just pop it up in the screen right now. So yeah, as you can see, it's quite empty on the streets. This was filmed during semi-lockdown. At least most stores are closed right now. Only essential food stores are allowed to be open. And for the rest, people are, a lot of people are working from home, studying from home. And of course, there's no tourists. And hardly no cyclers. Which is sad, because the shots I love the most are the shots where I'm cycling behind other cyclers, to give how other people are cycling also. I mean, like a third-person perspective. This is a first-person perspective of me with the hands and the steering wheel, but then you get the third-person perspective as well. But this part of the video is the only part where there are other cycles in front of me, so it was good. We're coming at the Centuurbaan right now. That's the name of the street. Wait a second, I earlier said that the Sarfati Park lined up with the Sarfati Street, but I'm now thinking that I'm wrong. Yes, because this street lines up with the Sarfati Park. The Centuurbaan. Oh well. Yeah, she was on the phone. Here, oh my god, how chill. That's what she was saying. That's what she said. So this intersection, when I was going to the Amstel Park in one of my videos, you'd see shots of me going from right to left over here. Ethos is one of the main drugstores in the country. You know, like shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste. Yeah, right now I'm thinking, okay, this street I already cycled through in my fall favorites video. And so I decided, okay, let's go to the left. Here I check if the coast is clear, no cars, no trams, buses, and voila, there we go. So yeah, while making these videos, the cycling to Amsterdam videos, I'm thinking, obviously, well, I don't know, but I'm not just randomly cycling, I'm thinking, which streets did I cover already in previous videos? Sometimes it's overlapping, of course, and it would be great if one of you, or multiple, would recognize, like, hey, wait a second, I saw this street in another video, and you really get to know the city more and more. And then one day when you're here in Amsterdam, finally, you know, you actually know stuff. Like, yeah, I should go to the left and right here. Oh yeah, Ethos. That's where I'll buy my toothpaste. Look, this cycler on the left, with his children in front of the bucket. We call it a bucket bike. Yeah, I'm sniffing a little bit, but I'm on the bike, so that's what the body does, right? Well, at least my body when I'm on the bike. This is a nice area. The pipe, or pipe. Look at this shot with the sun. That building on the horizon over there, the high building, that's the Okura or Okura Hotel. A Japanese hotel like Hilton, but then it's famous in Japan, I guess. And this is their facility over here. And on top of the hotel is a restaurant I've heard a lot of great stories about. And shame on me, hashtag shame on me. I've never been there yet, so I should visit it one day. Or maybe even film right here in this building on the right. I mean, the building is quite old, so the design is not, you know, breathtaking or something, but it don't matter, you know. If the food is great, and the view probably also. I guess around 20 floors. Yeah, that little wiggly thing on my steering wheel, that's a light. You know, if you don't have any lights on your bike, you can get a fine. But there have been hundreds of times in my life where I've been cycling without light. Don't tell anyone. I've never gotten a fine yet. I do remember as a child when I was 10, 12 years old, Me and my buddy, we cycled through the red light. So it was this big intersection. And we were just going to the game store or something, you know, to buy some new games. This was around 2002, 3, 4. Yeah, so around 20 years ago. Or almost. And then at the big intersection there was, you know, in the middle there was a little place in between the cars, you know, to stand still and wait. So we crossed the first path. Then there was like a fast tram line in the middle, so we passed that part. Oh yeah, no wait. We went all the way till the end actually, but then we wanted to go through the red again to the left. Yeah, this may not make any sense, it doesn't matter. But at the last moment when I looked, you know, behind me to the left, I saw that there was a police officer on a motorcycle behind us, so he saw us he saw us go through the light. And I stopped immediately, but my buddy, he was a bit less good on the bike, let's say. So he tried to brake, but he was braking in the middle of the way, and then went back with his legs, like, oh shit, you know, let's go back. And then it became green for the police officer, and he came on his motorcycle towards us, and he stopped and he said like, oh, you think you're a real hero, huh, that you cycle through the red? But if you're such a hero to cycle through the red over here, you should also be such a hero to cycle through the red over there. And then, well, I forgot what happened after, but it was just a warning, you know, we were little kids, like 12 years old. That quote, it stick to me, you know. We are heroes. So here at the end, Station Rye, which is also the beginning of my first walking route, the Big Rabbit route, which I made with Zobar and Nadia. Man, such a long time ago. So yeah, please let me know in the comment section what you think about this. Maybe I should do this one more time, or 2 more times. Yeah, enjoy your day. Thanks for watching.